Yo, what's up, yo? I'm Jay Funkadelic, and welcome to the Funkable Operator Podcast, Episode 6. What up, man? How y'all doing, man? Good morning. This is the Funkable Operator Episode Part 6, the podcast that y'all want to see, Shout out to Vero G, Gorilla on the Hill last Friday night with Jason Murillo. Once again, I performed. I did my thing. It was on and popping. I was hip-hopping like Friday night, and it was all gravy. I did my thing. I played poker last night in Yonkers, and I didn't win that kind of money. I just won some, threw it back, but it didn't even fucking matter. I just had to get myself together. I took an Uber back to the residence. I called my mom to give me an Uber twice a day, like 2 times in a day. And everything is all gravy. Tonight, get ready for the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know some of y'all going for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't give a damn if y'all team y'all bet. It don't matter if you like Philadelphia, if you like the Kansas City. The Bengals got beat but like a couple of weeks ago, and the Kansas City is going to go to the Super Bowl. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs and shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. Rihanna's going to perform at halftime, and it'll be a good show. I remember last year, Dr. Dre performed at the Super Bowl last year with Eminem and Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent and Kendrick Lamar and Mary J. Blige. It was a very good, dope halftime show. But I thought Fat Joe was going to perform in the Bengals. I know he did, but it wasn't even aired. So I'm going to see Fat Joe in the near future. Shout out to Lisa. That's my homegirl from way back in the day. With the one that If I Take You Home. That's one of my favorite ladies of all time. I know she's a nice beat girl, pretty lady. I know she's like 10 years older than me. And went to that freestyle concert, but I waited outside. I was hearing the music, and it was very fun. It didn't end till 12 midnight. Shout out to Sal Abatalo. Shout out to my homegirl Cynthia. Shout out to my homegirl, Julie Torres. I represented them last night. I told them they're pretty, and they greet me, thank you. And it was a pleasure to see them people. I had no drama last night from the girl that was talking her shit to me. I didn't bump her last night, which is a good thing. And not last night, but Friday night. I'm sorry. There was a lot of shit going on in my life, and, I had to make myself get better, taking the proper medication, no trials and errors. Everything is fine right now. Everything is peaches and cream with myself, working with better staff in my residence, working with a lot of good things, going to work, getting a job. I work at the country club on Outlook Avenue. Worked with Mr. Joe. Shout out to Mr. Joe. Shout out to my boy Dennis and Frankie. I work with them 3 days a week. Getting the proper money, getting the checks, getting paid. But only, I'm about to go see some people in the near future. Hopefully I can get it done. Shout out to Mace. But, I saw Mace Friday night. He wasn't even moved for photos, and, the only photo I took a picture with was Lisa. Shout out to her. From Cult Jam. I was watching a documentary. It was a good documentary that I was watching on YouTube on Unsung. Shout out to everybody that respected me, not being so spiteful, not being very sarcastic, not to let people screw up everything. There's a lot of shit on my mind that I like to do in the summer or in the spring. I will be performing at that Hip Hop 50 on the Grand Concourse March 11th. Shout out to Deborah Coco. just gave me the mic. She let me spit. The time I was at the living room too, I did my thing. People represented. A lot of people freestyled. It was like it was freestyle cipher. I rapped off to that 45 King beat, the 900 number. And, you know, I got love for a lot of people in my life. I got mad love. When it comes to hip-hop music, when it comes to R&B, when it comes to wrestling, you know, I support the wrestling people. I support everybody in the game, in the whole wide world. I respect everybody. But you got to be careful because some people are very spiteful. And they know how to act properly. And they want to, like, get on your nerves. And they want to talk their shit. And it feels like there's no respect. There's no respect. There's when people let you down. They want to fucking, like, beef with you. They want to look to fight you. They want to make you they want to create an altercation. But it ain't like that. You know, things happen in life. But, you know, you can't change life. You can change. Even though your phone be taken away, you can get it replaced. It doesn't matter. I've been thinking about, you know, performing at the arenas if I need to, but like to pay money, to do everything that I need to do and just like keep it real to myself. I'm trying to understand why that I did that record from the Funkable Dark Knight Legacy. I've been getting around a lot, you know. Shout out to all the rappers that supported me. Shout out to Tretch Boy, Naughty by Nature. Shout out to my homeboy MC Smooth B from Nice and Smooth. You know, I had a lot of fun with these MCs and getting it on and putting my way through, listening to good music, you know. There's a lot of shit that I've been going through my life, but I understand why that. You know, I keep it real. I represent, you know, there's a lot of things that are happening in life. You know, going to the events, from the bridge to all events, getting ready for the summer, getting ready for the spring. You know, for the spring, if the summer comes after the spring and then the fall comes, it's my birthday weekend, but it's all right. You know, my birthday falls in October. You know, I get laid. You know what I'm saying? You know how shit could do, how it goes down. Shout out to my boy Gary Evans. Last week he picked me up for my residence. I knew the brother for almost 35 years already. You know, I met him since 1988. He was one of my best staff I ever worked with. You know, taught me the right way for hip-hop music and for the whole entire culture. I knew Gary Evans, we go way back 35 years ago. I understand he worked in my residence. He'd only last here for one type of year, and he left. So, he better off he be's my friend. You know, Gary Evans is a good friend, a good staff, and, you know, he's a mentor. He's my second mentor of hip-hop music, but before that was a late, great Uncle Gary, rest in peace. You know, Uncle Gary was, you know, his birthday was February 2nd. You know, he would have been 60-something, but I can't remember the age. Even I could think about it. Even if I ever stop talking or, you know, when people tell me to stop talking, it really, like, offends me. And people say the dumbest shit. You know, they want to, like, pick fights. They just need to calm themselves down. But sometimes people don't know how to act the proper way. And they talk that stupid shit and make me look bad. But I'm not going out like no fucking punk. You know, there's a lot of shit been happening with Hip Hop 50. There's going to be a lot of hip hop events coming up in the very near future. From now until the whole year. Shout out to my boy Grandmaster Cass. And shout out to my homegirl MC Sharrock from the Funky 4 plus one more. Shout out to the Cold Crush Brothers. Shout out to DJ Mr. C. Well, as a matter of fact, speaking of hip hop, the Grammys was one of the best shows I ever watched. You know, the Grammys was good this year. I know Will Smith won a Grammy back in '88 for best hip hop song or album. You know, Will Smith was the first rapper that ever won a Grammy at and the Grammy Awards. Know your history. Shout out to my boy DJ Jazzy Jeff. Shout out to boy Tretch, Boy Anointed by Nature. Shout out to Vinny and KG. I'm gonna go see Nas in Madison Square Garden February 20-something. It could be on a Friday night to see his ass, you know what I'm saying, doing his King Disease tracks. I really like to meet Nas. I like to take a fall with him. If he can walk very slow and not walk fast with bodyguards. I'm just saying my prayers. I hope I get a fall with Nas, hoping it can happen. I'm going to try to make it happen. There's no promises. There ain't no promises. There ain't no goddamn promises, period. Rest in peace, shout out to Lanny Poffo, the Macho Man. The Macho Man's brother. The Randy Savage's brother, Lanny Poffo, passed away, unfortunately. I was about to meet him, but unfortunately he passed. So, you know, I was watching the horses yesterday with my father, and not really at the track, but at home. Shout out to my sister Janine. A big shout out to my boy Rob Barish, my brother-in-law. That never gave me a problem. Shout out to my nephew. Shout out to everybody that I've been seeing in my life. And, you know, I'm trying to make things go good with myself. I like freestyle. Before there was hip-hop, I used to listen to freestyle music. Freestyle music got me into hip-hop. No doubt. Don't sleep. Don't sleep, no sleep till Brooklyn. But I wasn't born in Brooklyn. I was born in the Bronx. Not Queens, not Manhattan, not Staten Island, not Long Island, not New Jersey. The Bronx is the place, the birthplace of hip-hop. That's what I'm talking about. 1520 Cedric Avenue. When DJ Kool Herc started the hip-hop movement. DJ Kool Herc and Africa Bambaataa from the Zulu Nation. Shout out to my boy Chuck D from Public Enemy that did his thing at the Grammys with Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy. Cole Medina. Shout out to my boy. Wish I can meet Flavor Flav again. If I ever see him. You know, shout out to Salt and Pepper. Shout out to Run DMC. Shout out to Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, that did that thing at the Grammys. And shout out to everybody that performed at the Grammys, even my homeboy Bad Bunny. But I really don't like his music, but he's okay. I'm not really feeling him that much. I know he walks with security. I understand he does. There's a lot of shit that happened at the Grammys this year. Shout out to my boy, my mentor for spitting rhymes was LL Cool J. You know, he has our station on Rock the Bells Radio, you know, channel 43. Rock the Bells, you can check him out on Sirius XM Satellite Radio. You can check out Jason Murillo on Vero G on AM WPAT Radio. Shout out to DJ Khaled, shout out to Nas, shout out to all the pioneers in hip-hop, shout out to Grandmaster Melly Mel Mania, brother, like my boy Hulk Hogan. You know, Melly Mania is Grandmaster Melly Mel when he did the message, when he said, it's like a jungle sometimes, it make me wonder how I keep it going under. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Ha 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 ha. You know, check out the Grammys if you missed it. You can watch it on YouTube.com. And you know, there's a lot of situations in life that I'm going through to spit lyrics on the mic. I'll be at the Universal Hip Hop Museum doing my performance with Joelle, whatever her name is, and Deborah Coco. Shout out to my boy McBenzo that promotes the art of rap. Shout out to my homegirl Kim Seabrook, my boo, my It's my Nubian sister, Kim Seabrook, the poetry sister. I really like her a lot. She's one of my favorite poetry singers of all time. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to a lot of people that gave me love since day one. Rest in peace. Shout out to Houdini. I would like to say this one only for my times of B&J Funkadelic. If it was for hip-hop music, if it wasn't for the cassettes, if it was for Cool DJ Red Alert, if it wasn't for the CDs or vinyl, there'd be no J Funkadelic. If it wasn't for my Uncle Gary, that really didn't like hip-hop music, there'd be no J Funkadelic. Second of all, if it was for Gary Evans, I would not really understand hip-hop like I do nowadays, because hip-hop really saved my life from all the bullshit that I was going through. And, I like to represent the hood to the fullest, the Bronx, the Boogie Down Bronx, Man Parish, Man Paris, or whatever you call his name, Malcolm McLaurin, the Hobo Scratch. And like Grandmaster Cass said, hip-hop didn't invent anything, but hip-hop reinvented everything. I was watching the documentaries. I was watching The Fight the Power on Channel 13 on PBS. And I was doing my histories. I understand they're coming out with a new episode 3. I'm going to watch that pretty soon. I only watched like 2 episodes that were interesting to watch. I watched it for like 50 minutes to an hour. And Chuck D narrated on The Fight the Power, how hip-hop changed the world. And by the way, y'all have a good Sunday. The Super Bowl is already here. It's going to start at 6 o'clock tonight. Maybe I'll see y'all at Sauce Con Fuego. I'll be hanging out in the VIP section or sitting down eating food or doing my thing. So who y'all going for tonight? Either Philadelphia Eagles or the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cincinnati Bengals did not make it to the Super Bowl. So it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Y'all know that already. I should never said it again, but I'm saying it now, and I'll say it again one more time. Okay? Like I said this one more time. I'm Jay Funkadelic. The Funkable Operator Podcast, episode 6, in the mix. Okay? Peace out.